Like what?
People handing out cash like that.
Just like giving out cash. Well, yeah, we'll use it.
You know, we can get anything. Shit, that sponsors getting on like Radio Row or something. I don't know. You never know.
Let's go, Clemson.
Man, Clemson done, bro. Don't
say that.
It's
don't
the truth, man. Deshaun Watson great, but he got to have like a Vince Young type game for him to come back.
Well, he better come on.
I'm talking about full blown like game winning running touchdown to the corner of the end zone. He got to have a full blown.
Alabama defense is good, but that offense was slacking last week.
It is, but if they let if Bo get loose, man, you already seen him go once. He can easily have 150 and 2 touchdowns by the end of this game, or 2 more touchdowns easily.
Well, I can see that happening.
Or maybe OJ Howard may step up because shit, he burned him for 200 last year.
You ready, Lane? Oh, he fell off the video chat.
You lying?
Lane,
you ain't here. Lane right there. I need to put my phone.
He ain't saying nothing.
Yo, Lane.
He ain't saying nothing.
All right.
Lane,
y'all there? Yeah. I got disconnected. I'm back.
Oh.
I told you he fell off the video thing.
I still seen this thing on there. I guess I was tripping.
I said Lane joins call. I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah, I got abducted.
Oh,
hey, we're glad to have you back.
You out there in Atlanta, man. Be careful, bro.
I know, right? Shit. Man, y'all ready though?
I heard.
Yeah, we're
ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. DeMarcus and Marcus in the mix, serving you another round of fish and grits. Ninth day of the year, man. How you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Ready to talk some sports, boy. Ooh, it was a great weekend. Great weekend.
Definitely was a great weekend. If you do want to hear any of our old podcasts, just go to kfobradio.com. That's kfobradio.com, where you can tune into all the latest and greatest info that we have for you guys. Big shout out to our producer behind the scene, Lane Fobs. But, man, let's jump into some news. It looked like the Jaguars are making moves, and this is probably one of the best damn hires I'm going to see this offseason. Doug Marrone, head coach. Tom Coughlin, VP of football operations. Doug Marrone, at the tender age of 52, went 15-17 as the Bills coach. 9-7 was the first winning season that the Bills had in 10 years. And at this moment, man, this is the saddest part. At 1-1, he has the second best winning percentage in Jaguars history.
That's pitiful. That means the Jags was really, 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 really bad. If this man come in and have a winning record with just 2 games of coaching,
the second best. I mean, who holds the first record is Tom Coughlin at 68-60, who I just said was named the vice president of football operations. In 1996 and 1999, he led the Jaguars to the AFC Championship. Also had success with the Giants with his 2 Super Bowl rings. I think this is going to be a lot of discipline added to this roster. I mean, from VP into the head coach. I mean, you're getting some winners. I mean, even go back to Marrone's Syracuse days where he went 25-25, 2 bowl wins. He also coached under Herm Edwards and Sean Payton, and he led Syracuse to their first winning season since 2001 when he was their head coach. So I think this is going to be a great hire for him, man. I mean, it's already a loaded roster. If you ask me, we talked about this previously. That defense is win now capable. And all you got to do is make a few adjustments on the offensive side, and I think he's gonna have a powerhouse in the AFC.
Man, so the Jags have a top. They have a top 10 pick. So they number 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Just think about this. What if McCaffrey falls down to the Jags and they can grab him? Because that's all they need is a running back. Just think about that.
Any type of explosive offensive weapon. Because I think the defense is set. I don't think you need to go defense first round. Well,
I mean, yeah, you don't have to do defense, but I mean, Blake Bortles, from what Doug Marrone did for Blake Bortles the last 2 games is exactly the Blake Bortles that we needed. The one that doesn't turn the ball over, the one that is careful with the ball, the one that runs when he has open lanes, and also the Blake Bortles that makes accurate passes and using his best weapon, which is Allen Robinson. The way they were moving him around instead of putting him on the outside and they putting him in positions to succeed is exactly what they should have did or should have been doing this whole season. And then just think about it. You have a healthy Allen Hurns that's coming back next year. And then you have hopefully a healthy Julius Thomas that can stay healthy. Then you have Marquise Lee, emerging wide receiver 2, who could, people say, he is better than Allen Robinson. But, having all that, all they need is a consistent running game. And I think McCaffrey would open up the offense for them. Also, the thing that I like about McCaffrey that he could bring to the offense is he can catch the ball at the backfield. So when Blake Bortles is, when he's pressured, when that line is failing or something like that, he can always throw the ball to him. They should go either a running back or I would say get another offensive line because their offensive line was, a problem. But if they are to correct some of the issues or those main issues that we talked about with the turnover of the ball and, that defense still playing as good as they were this year, they could be a scary wild card next year.
Right. Looking into the AFC South, which team do you see to be more dangerous just as towards next year, Tennessee or Jacksonville?
I'm going to say Jacksonville just because the hire that they did, because the same thing, you don't know about Mariota coming off that injury. And on top of that, DeMarco Murray is another year older. You have Derrick Henry out there, back there. But, the thing that I want to see about that offense is it goes where Mariota goes. And if he's not able to start the season or come back healthy like he was last year or this year, it's no telling where he would where that offense can go. But the Jags, they're these hirings they just did, no telling what they can do for the team. On paper, it looks great, but I'm not going to give them all the credit and say that they got the AFC lockdown going forward, going to next year. They are a team that I'm looking forward to watch, just like I was this year, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I think they went into this season with a lot of hype. Unfortunately, they weren't able to back it up with the play on the field. But I think it was all about the coach. I don't think Gus Bradley had that locker room under control with the whole rah-rah aspect that he brings as a coach. I like the direction they headed in. Like I say, I like the hiring of Marrone and Coughlin. I think that's probably one of the best two-headed combos you can bring in as a coach and VP. So I think they're going to be in the right direction, man. These Jaguars can be dangerous if they can get their discipline in check. That's the key part of any NFL team is discipline. And, another coach in the AFC South that does teach a lot of discipline is Mike Vrabel, probably one of my favorite coaches in a long time. He will be interviewing with the Rams after this divisional round. He met with the 49ers last year for the defensive coordinator position. Glad he didn't take that. See what kind of wildfire is going on with the 49ers. But just looking at his resume within the last 5 years, Mike Vrabel has coached the likes of Ryan Shazier, Joey Bosa, Darren Lee, John Simon, Jonathan Hankins, Whitney Merciless, and Jadeveon Clowney into all-pro status. This is a player that was all-pro himself in 2007 and also made the all-decade team. He's a hands-on teacher. He's probably that player's coach that you need to have on the sideline, kind of like a John Harbaugh. And he has the Super Bowl experience, and he's a born winner, if you ask me. I think he'd be a perfect fit for the Rams because he's that sleeper pick. You don't need to bring in a retread when you're trying to win over a city. You need to bring in a fresh face that can come in, take control of not only the roster, but that team, just somebody that the team can lead behind. I think Mike Vrabel was that perfect type of leader. I think he'd be a great hire for the Rams if they wanted to take a shot at him.
Well, Vrabel, he got a lot of attention also from Hard Knocks because he was a standout as being a tough coach and, always getting on his defensive players because, if you messed up, he always took you out the thing. And the thing about the Rams is they have a great defensive unit and bringing him into the system and coaching up those players that they do have. They could really make a good leap. But the thing about the Rams, and I'm scared, I personally wish he would go take over see if he can get an interview with San Francisco or a team that's has a little bit. The only reason why I say San Francisco is because they had injuries this year. Like, just think about that. If some of their players on the defense come back healthy. But the thing about the Rams is you still don't have a quarterback. At the end of the day, you still don't have a quarterback because I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. he throws the ball over. He's careless with the ball. And the thing is, they were talking about Sean Payton might take over or interview for the Rams coach, and he's a strong consideration that he might leave. But at the end of the day, Sean Payton, you're a good coach, but how successful are you going to be when you're trying to call up plays and you look back and you say, "Oh, that's not Drew Brees"?
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
I don't expect for. I would not want them going to the Rams until the Rams. I just don't like the Rams as an organization, honestly, because I just feel like they're dysfunctional with the whole things that they were going about and who they who they grabbed in the draft, overpaying for players like Tavon Austin who don't deserve the pay that he got on the offseason, and bringing in a rookie quarterback who was good in college but didn't look like he had the necessary tools to lead a franchise that was going to move to a whole new city. I just thought decisions.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. The only reason I want to put Vrabel name out there, it's not like you're going to get a coaching gig at any point in time. He's still a linebackers coach, okay? He's not a coordinator. He don't have the experience. He'd be a new hire, but it's just a fresh face. Do you want to bring in somebody who's had chance after chance, another Romeo Cornell or Wade Phillips? Bring in a fresh face, somebody that everybody can rally behind, a young players coach. Yeah, I understand what you mean about the quarterback situation, but that's what's going to be up to the management to get that fixed. The GM. When you look at the 49ers, they ran Jim Harbaugh out of town. Okay, so it's already a lot of dysfunction. They went through 3 coaches in 3 years. So I feel you'll have a safer floor with the Rams as far as like just having your job for the next few years. They'll actually give you a chance whether you go into the 49ers, they're going to want instant success. This was a team that was just in the Super Bowl, so at some point they're going to have Super Bowl, they're going to want that back. But when you're looking at the Rams, 7-9 and keep your job for 10 years, it looks like. So if he's able to come in there, get the right staff, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the right offensive mind, a Mike McCoy, a coach like that can come in and run that offense while you get your defense locked down. Maybe you can bring a couple of the assistants that you got from the Texans, and then it's a new city. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty much going to be the first official coach of LA because they never accepted Fisher.
Even Fisher's parents don't even accept Fisher. Sad to say, because he was just a mediocre. You could tell how mediocre that team. How mediocre of a coach he was when you watch Hard Knocks. He bored me. He made Hard Knocks bearable. Hard to watch.
I couldn't watch it. Hard Knocks was
horrible. Especially when they did the episode when they were cutting people and he'd bring him in. He'd be so dry, and it's just like I can't see. I just can't see you motivating a team or picking up a whole team, and getting them to play better. He would get hyped up on the when they beat Seattle or something like that. But other than that, I never really saw him happy. And the thing about the Rams that you did mention is you have job security. If you're going to keep somebody as mediocre as Jeff Fisher for so long, you are coming in. Exactly. It reminds me of the Bengals. Like if the Bengals ever got rid of Marvin Lewis and they hired somebody else, just know at the end of the day you have job security, because if they allow mediocrity to stay around so long, there's no telling what they would do with somebody else coming through. But the thing about the 49ers is I feel like they're going to take a turn, because I think that they finally realized, or maybe the owner, in the interview that he was saying that you can't get rid of the owner, maybe the owner is starting to take ownership that he made some bad mistakes. The only thing that I would like for him to do is come out. He don't have to come out, but I wish like him to acknowledge the fact that he did make some bad decisions, and the way he handled the John Harbaugh thing was a problem, because it's just like you let somebody of that much of talent caliber just escape for nothing, and it is not like he wasn't taking you to he just took you to the Super Bowl where y'all barely lost by a last minute pass. Like he'd probably still be there if he won it.
Yeah, that's true. And then you also got to look at the roster. I can't think of everybody offhand, but you look at Frank Gore gone, Alden Smith gone, Justin Smith gone, Patrick Willis retired. They had the tackle, he retired and came back. They had a fullback that retired. They lost so much talent. Michael Crabtree. They lost so much talent. Vernon Davis. And he let all these players walk and did not get anything in return. anything.
All he got was Curly. All he got was Curly from the Jets.
That's it. So if I got to walk into that situation knowing that they lost a lot of talent and never replaced them versus a secure Rams position, I'll take that job all day versus the question mark that you'll get with the 49ers. I mean, the one thing that the 49ers has is their legacy. If you was to go to the 49ers, you'll be going strictly for their legacy, the Jerry Rice, the Joe Montana days, but they're not there. They're not going to be walking through that tunnel. You're going to be walking through that tunnel with maybe Colin Kaepernick or Blaine Gabbert.
Whew.
And that's
a long walk. That's a long walk.
I'd rather take that walk with Todd Gurley. I'm sorry. I'd rather take
But you know what's crazy about it? Colin Kaepernick, I think that if any team, I'm getting off topic here, but think about this. If Colin Kaepernick could play like he played for the 49ers this year, he had an inconsistent Carlos Hyde that was healthy some days, was hurt some days. When
Carlos ran, he was effective though. So
he was very effective, and he didn't turn the ball over that much because he really had an efficient season. If you stand back and you take away the kneeling and everything that Colin Kaepernick did this year, he really had a good year. And I feel like they have questionable backups, like say maybe the Titans want to pick him up, just to be behind Mariota, or maybe
a safe player. Yeah,
you do, because you can't keep throwing Matt Castle out there. You can't expect much from Matt Castle. But think about it, if you had Mariota goes down, Colin Kaepernick comes in, y'all might be in the playoffs. Honestly, if you think about it.
Yeah, so, it could be a bad example, but like when Vince Young went to the Eagles, it was a solid backup.
Oh yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
It didn't pan out like they thought, but yeah, it was a good backup plan, But yeah, definitely I can agree with that.
Or if think about this. Let me ask you one more question. What if he went to like Kansas City? Like if anything ever would have happened with Alex Smith, he'd just be behind Alex Smith again. Like, hello, I'm back again to take your job.
Man, but even on top of that, I think Andy Reid will be able to use him effectively. He already has plays in there for a Colin Kaepernick type of player. I mean, you see him run a Wildcat, so you never know what he'll be able to do with Colin Kaepernick back there. So yeah, that'll be a hell of a fit, but he'd have to take a major pay deduction to go to Kansas City. But that is a winning organization. But just to wrap up on Vrabel, it is a coach that I would not want to leave Houston, but if he has to make the best decision for himself, he got to do what he got to do, because Romeo Crennel just coached the number one defense in the NFL for the first time in his career, and I don't see him retiring anytime soon. So Vrabel can't continue just to wait around and hope that he get this job sooner or later and let an opportunity like this pass him by. But
what I really wish is, I'm sorry to cut you off. The thing I really wish is that because I just heard reports that that Bill O'Brien wants more control of the team going into next year, and I was just thinking about that. The Texans should, if they really valued him as a coach, they should really give him the reins to do what he wants, because they brought in a quarterback that he didn't want. The only quarterback that he drafted was Tom Savage, and then he got clowned, and then he has Lamar Miller, but most of the pieces on offense and defense is not people that he wanted. I wonder what Bill O'Brien could do with that team, because I was just thinking about, in my mind, what he did in separate the job that he implemented with Penn State and how he turned that whole organization around. And look what Penn State is doing right now. They're nationally ranked.
Borderline playoff team with his class.
Borderline top 4. Yeah. That's what's crazy. And I'm just thinking about the Texans. I don't understand what they do. They sit back and you want to hire this man, but you want to say, you don't want to, McNair want to come out and say, oh yeah, he was never, firing was never in the question. Oh yeah, firing is never in the question after we won the playoff game. Exactly. But just think about what he could do for this organization. And he just seems like a rah-rah. He's not just a rah-rah coach. He seems like a coach.
He wants to win. Yeah, he wants to win.
He wants to win. And I feel like the Texans need to get away from their mediocre thought process and do what they need to see fit, and let him to do what he got to do. Because look, if the Rockets can sit back and Moore can get what's his name?
Mike D'Antoni
is my name. Mike D'Antoni, and Mike D'Antoni, he's got the control of the whole organization. Look how he flipped the Rockets around. Same with Texas. They need to go ahead and sit back and let Bill O'Brien do what he had to do, and I'm pretty sure he can make us happy.
No, I can agree with that, but this is the one thing you got to look at in retrospect, man. Gary Kubiak and Wade Phillips had total control of the Texans. So Rick Smith never actually was a GM. So this was actually the first time that Rick Smith was actually able to be a GM to make decisions, because Gary Kubiak made all roster decisions. Every player that you've seen that Gary Kubiak picked up, where did they end up? With Gary Kubiak either in Baltimore or with Gary Kubiak in Denver.
Broncos.
Yes, because those were his players. So I don't know if it's that they want Rick Smith to have some type of credibility with the actual organization, because they gave him the GM title, but he never actually played GM throughout the Gary Kubiak years. And now it's kind of going back on him, because now you can look at Bill O'Brien's perspective, like, okay, I'm going into an organization to where they give all the power to the head coach, because this is what they gave to the previous coach. And now I don't know what they told him in the interviews, but I'm sure he had some type of system. Okay, I'll be able to make some type of decisions. And then you get down here, and the only thing that we can put to Bill O'Brien's name is the sign of Lamar Miller. That's it.
Lamar, and which was a good signing.
Hell of a sign. I mean, you're talking about a 1,000-yard back that he found single-handedly. Now, it was some questionable pieces that he went out, like the Chris Polk. I still don't understand that. Like, that was probably one of the most.
I do like Chris Polk. He was like Chris Polk, man. He was putting in work with the Eagles.
He put in some work, but Bill O'Brien kind of overhyped him a little bit. But I can kind of agree with you saying that Bill O'Brien do need a little bit more power, but maybe they just trying to make this transition to give Rick Smith a little bit more power, but maybe it needs to be a little bit more 50-50. You know, just get a coach some type of say, just give him some type of leeway to go with the roster. You know, I think one thing for sure that rubbed him the wrong way is when Ryan Mallett missed the team plane, and Bill O'Brien wanted to cut him the same day. But Rick Smith wouldn't allow him to cut him because he said, we need 2 active quarterbacks for this game. I think since that moment right there, it's like, all right, you telling me no, I want him gone. He was an embarrassment to my team. Just like DJ Swearinger. When DJ Swearinger didn't want to report to the special teams, Bill wanted him gone, and he was released. But he want that same type of power. If these players won't get with my program, they need to hit the door and they need to be gone. And that I don't think that's asking too much for a head coach.
If I'm Bill O'Brien, I would sit down and they would have this meeting and they would say, Bill, we need you to come in. We're trying to make personnel decisions. I would look over at Rick Smith in the meeting and say, anytime he has any say-so, I say, Brock. That's all I would say, Brock. I would just keep saying Brock. Anytime he would say something, I would just say Brock. Because this is the player that you brought in, that you overspent for, that put us in a hole. No telling where we could have been with it. We had the salary cap going into next year of what his contract holds up to. And Brock has done nothing. Because honestly, we could have kept Brian Hoyer. He could have done more than what Brock. Because I'm going to be honest with you, people want to sleep on Brian Hoyer. You're like, oh, yeah, Brian Hoyer played against Kansas City and he was terrible. Guess what? Kansas City, you have bad games. Guess what? You can't be amazing all the time. Kansas City had a great defense last year. People like to forget that one. But guess what? Brian Hoyer had –
and he was coming off a concussion.
Brian Hoyer had 4 consecutive. I just want people to realize this. Brian Hoyer this year, when he played for Chicago, when Jay Cutler got hurt, Brian Hoyer had 4 consecutive games of throwing over 300 yards with nobody. And that's with not throwing to Alshon Jeffrey, who is your best player. He had these amazing stats. And guess what? No other Jay Cutler has thrown over 300 yards one time in his career with Chicago. That's terrible. And Brian Hoyer did that. Yes, he got hurt, but guess what? Brian Hoyer was playing conservative football, and he was protecting the ball, something that Brock Osweiler doesn't do, and something that Bill O'Brien hates. He hates a quarterback to turn up. He hates turnovers, and he hates it more when it's a quarterback making the turnovers. So I just think that Rick Smith needs to take a backseat for a minute and let Bill O'Brien, with his wisdom, what he has shown with the Penn State program and what he's shown us on the first 3 years of his year with the Texans, he needs to sit back and allow him to be his coach, and you can just assist him and learn. And I'm pretty sure you can grow as a GM just taking advice from him, because honestly, you can tell in just your 2 years of you trying to be GM, you're not that great right now.
Exactly. And let's break down just a 5-year resume of Bill O'Brien. He took over a Penn State team that was in one of the biggest scandals ever and turned Christian Hackenberg into a second-round pick who's a bum. Okay, 9-7, 3 consecutive years for the Texans. 9-7, almost with a MVP season from J.J. Watt overall, because he got him involved in the offense. 9-7 with a playoff appearance. 9-7 with a playoff victory. That is increasing your resume every year. You do not let a coach go away that's increasing his coaching resume every single year. Give the man his control, and let's continue what we're doing. That's
to
all
dominate.
you have to do. That's all you have to do. JJ Watt coming back next year. Get an offensive mind in here, but George Godsey got to go. If Bill O'Brien wants any type of control, he got to let go of George Godsey first and foremost. I think that should be the deal. If you want control, Godsey got to go. Get a new man in here.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
But man, speaking of a new man in here, let's talk about an old school man, the Joey Porter, man. 13-year NFL vet, 2006 Super Bowl champion. He's not a stranger to the law, though, man. In 2010, he did have suspicion of drunken driving and assault on an officer. So at 9:30 yesterday, old Joey want to go and celebrate the playoff victory. He go down to a bar, already drunk. They refused to let him in because he threatened one of the security guards previously, saying he was going to kill him. He lifted the door, man, and assaulted the officer on scene. His total charges, man: assault, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, trespassing, and public drunkenness. Joey Porter, what are you doing? Go home. You got a very, very important game next week. You're one of the most important coaches as far as the linebacking group, and y'all need y'all linebackers to perform next week and throughout the entire playoffs. They don't need this type of backlash, man. You get your playoff victory. You're in your city. You're in Pittsburgh, a city that you played almost your whole career in. Go home. Why are you already drunk before you get to the bar? What are you doing?
Honestly, I don't understand what's going on. Maybe he was trying to. Me personally, if I just won my playoff victory, first of all, let's take into account. Let's think about this, y'all. Let's think about everybody to stand back and look at this. It was negative degrees outside. Why are you going to any bar?
Why you already drunk?
No telling how cold it was that night. How are you had to really be drunk because it's pretty cold, and when it's cold outside, it seems to be harder to get kind of drunk. And the thing about him, what I don't understand is, I personally, as a fan of just watching random stuff happen, I would love to see a security footage of him doing what the report said he did, because that would be so entertaining just to watch him pick a guy up and throw him out the way. I think it's embarrassing on the Steelers organization, and it's just like, I personally, how do I want to say this? I want to structure my words right. It just always seems like there's something going wrong in the Steelers organization. If it's from the LeGarrette Blount and Le'Veon Bell, marijuana little thing. Martavis Bryant.
Tomlin
over here we go. Here goes Big Ben over here raping women. Oh, whoa. Let's not forget about that one.
Come on now.
Let's don't forget about that one. Or it seems like it's always something with the Steelers organization, and it just always seems like they're always in the news for the wrong thing. And the thing I like about Tom Coughlin is that in the midst of so many negatives that can easily derail your team, because when teams have like controversy or like scandals or bad things that's going on, they seem to fold. Most teams seem to fold, but Tom Coughlin, it shows the character of Tom Coughlin. I know he had the whole tripping thing that's going on, which is still hilarious to this day. But it's just like the way he can team together after this ordeal, and he can lead his team to beat Kansas City at Kansas City. It just says so much to me as him as a head coach, and he's got to be in the conversation with the Bill Belichick and the Andy Reid as one of the best coaches of our generation, because look what he did with the Steelers and winning 2 Super Bowls, bringing them together, not having the greatest of defense, something that he would like to have, but playoffs again, having this firepower of offense, dominating like they did against the Miami Dolphins. Don't sneeze on the Miami Dolphins. Their defense was still pretty good going into the playoffs. Yeah, they didn't have Ryan Tannehill, but the drop off from Tannehill to Matt Moore wasn't that much. And then to also talk about it is, I love what he's implemented with, players the ball. Some teams take away from that, like they like to say, oh, well, so and so is on my top guy, I have to go away from him. No, stick with what got you there. He sticks with Le'Veon Bell. What do you have, like 10 carries for what, 97? No, I'm talking about that when he had that 10 carries, 87 yards, and touchdown. They went to him every play, and it was just like, you couldn't stop that. He can stop that because Kansas City this year has given up a lot of rushing yards. And if Le'Veon Bell can eat like he did on Sunday, and if, Antonio Brown can do what he has to do, and if Big Ben can stop being a drama queen and get out that boot and go ahead and go ball him, it's going to be good. But I don't think they should let this, incident that went on with Joey Porter be a distraction to them. I just hope he gets his get his business straight.
Yeah, you want to get, because his group is producing. I mean, his linebacking crew had 35 tackles in 8 quarterback hits and 2 sacks. Like, they're producing.
And they had good pressure.
Yeah, so his group is actually doing a good job. That's why it's just the worst possible time for it. I hate to put it this way, but he's probably the most important coach that they have in that organization, because you need your linebackers to be able to cover. You need them to be able to rush. You need them to be able to stop the run.
You have to cover for that secondary, because that secondary is not that great. Yeah, it's and when you have a good pass rush, you have that good pass rush. It gives your corners time to match up with their wide receiver. So he's very important.
Yeah. So when you talk about 6 months of being coached by Joey Porter, now this 1 week, one of the most important weeks of the year, you're gonna have a different linebackers coach, all because your linebacker coach want to get pissy drunk for no fucking reason. Like that don't make no sense. This is too important of a run that the Steelers need to make, especially not only for Tomlin legacy, but for Big Ben legacy. Because we haven't seen Big Ben in an important playoff game in a long time.
In a long time. So it's so important for his legacy, for the entire team to be intact, because you already have Ladarius Green out. We already know about the situation with Martavis Bryant. Thank God that Le'Veon Bell playing out his mind and Antonio Brown and can take almost any pass to the house, or this team could be in trouble if they didn't have that type of elite talent on offense. But you can't have boneheaded coaches on the defensive side costing your team possibly a playoff run. You just got to get in. You got to get that entire thing in order. You got to get the details laid out. Hopefully, they slap suspension on it, but you need him back for the playoffs in some form or fashion. I just don't see it happening that way, though. Yeah, hopefully they can bounce back from there. But it just seems like it's another story about another little boneheaded thing going into another playoff game. First it was with the Odell story. Now this story. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Oh man, Odell let everybody down. I'm talking 4 for 28 on 11 targets. And I hate how everybody's running with the boat story. Like,
yeah, that's what I hate. That's what I hate the most, because the fact that people are taking something that happened on Monday and equating it to something that's happening on a Sunday is beyond me. Like, the man probably went out on Tuesday and caught like 100 balls, and then on Wednesday 100 balls or something like that. But no one's going to capture that. They're always going to remember the negative before they remember the positive. But the thing about Odell and the thing that I don't like about him, I personally, as me and you talked about, we had no problem with the go partying in Miami, you getting back, doing what you got to do. The thing I don't like about Odell is that he paints a target on his back. Yeah. And with everything he does, he makes it bigger and bigger. The thing that I hate, and I know you probably hate this too, why in the world are you going shirtless outside at the Green Bay game playing like you tough? We all know it's cold outside. Have probably all the ladies love you. They like you with your shirt off. Oh yeah, it may look good. Oh, you got about 1 million likes on Instagram. But guess what? You look stupid doing stuff like that. And it's like you constantly doing childish things. I personally, this year with Odell Beckham, got annoyed with Odell Beckham because he took away from his own play. And what I mean by that is he balled, and he had amazing plays, especially that one he did to the when he took it to the house for that 80-yard touchdown. But the thing about Odell is he'll do that, but guess what? The next day there's a video that's going viral of him dancing in the locker room, or him doing choreography with him and Victor Cruz in sync and crumping in the background or something like that. But it's just like, it's like the things you do is just overshadowing your gameplay. And what it is a lot of people are not going to remember you by your play. They're going to remember you about your antics. Same with T.O. Look what this is doing to T.O. Right. T.O. can barely even get into the Hall of Fame because of all the antics that he did in his career. That should show you right there. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you keep digging a hole for yourself, you're going to fall in that hole and no one's going to see you for what you're worth. And he needs to get that together. And the thing that I don't like even more is people putting the pressure on Eli that he needs to be on these players. No, I put more pressure on Victor Cruz that you are a Super Bowl champion and you had the nerve to be out there partying with Odell and them, and that you had this mediocre game. You have a you expect
your veteran to do a little bit more.
I expect more from you.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But you kind of got to admit that Eli is on a decline. You know, it's probably one of the first elite quarterbacks, even if you want to put him in that elite category, that you're starting to see it from. I mean, you got Phillip Rivers, who led the league in turnovers, but between Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, you just don't see the decline out of them. But Eli, he's probably like the first one you can actually see next to his brother. You've seen it with Peyton. When you just realized Peyton wasn't the same Peyton.
They can't move. That's his thing. He can't move, and he doesn't throw accurately. That's his problem. Now, he did play. If you really watch that game, Eli played a really good game, and there was a whole bunch of drops.
Yeah, it was a lot of drops.
But he swing.
He missed a couple throws. The one that I think it was the third one. The third one that Odell dropped, even though he was having a bad game already, that was overthrew him.
He overthrew him, and I hated how they were trying.
They're trying to make it seem like Eli man had a good ball. That wasn't a good ball.
You should have caught that ball, Odell. No, man, Jesus couldn't catch that ball. It was way over his head.
But you know, like Odell is in his third year. Okay, I mean he's already probably one of the most prolific receivers we've seen in a 3-year stretch, and maybe he needed this, Marcus. You know, like this. I think next year, if we don't see a better season out of Odell, he learned absolutely nothing from this year. And what I mean by a different season, this probably won't happen. Cut the mohawk, stop the dancing, stop the shirts off, stop as much partying, put down the Instagram, put down the social media, go out there, break some type of record. Get you 2,000 receiving yards, get you 20 touchdowns, get you 160 balls. Just do something to let everybody know, all right, I'm a changed man. I'm here to play football. Because we know you can play. Nobody has said that Odell Beckham is not a top 3 receiver in the NFL. You probably can even say top 2. I personally think he should have been on the All-Pro team over Julio Jones off the fact that he played more games alone.
Exactly.
But Julio Jones is a pro. Odell Beckham is a sideshow. He has to change everything. Julio Jones, he cut the dreads. Do it seem like he got a little bit better? Do it seem like he got a little bit more mature? Like as he just cut it down, like, all right, I'm here to play football. I ain't worried about anything else. It's those small changes that can change who you are as an athlete. And I think Odell Beckham, if he wanted to put his mind to it, he could have one of the greatest receiving years next year. I guarantee that.
Boy, you said Julio cut the dreads. I forgot Julio had dreads.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's those small changes.
It reminded me of Vernon Davis when Vernon Davis cut his hair. I was like, I forgot. People don't remember that Vernon Davis had hair.
Yeah, but like Julio, I think he cut it after he got hurt the second time. But he came back as a different player. Ballhead Julio came back as a different player. So yeah. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see that same thing from Odell. Just change something up. Do something new. I almost said the same thing about James Harden, so it's a little bit biased, but not James Harden doing this thing. So sometimes you can still be yourself and go out there and ball and have a bounce back season. But I think Odell Beckham is an entirely different head case from James Harden, and I think he needs to have a big change in his life. Maybe he needs a relationship. He just needs something to stable him down. He's out of control. Bumping your head against the wall, punching walls, you're doing too much, man. You're too talented to be doing things like that. And somebody need to reach out to that man. It's a cry for help.
Because think about this. Antonio Brown premiered also. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Antonio Brown made his made his presence felt yesterday. Antonio Brown is known
first postseason touchdowns. Yeah.
The thing about Antonio Brown was he goes out there and he dances and we all like it, and he always has the funny haircuts and the stupid beard. Like, he has a weird looking beard going on right now. But guess what? His people know him for his play over his antics.
Exactly.
Odell, guess what? People know you more for twerking and doing the Michael Jackson dance in the end zone than you scoring a touchdown. Yeah, you proposing to a goal net, even though that was funny. But it's just like you do these things and it draws away from yourself. And it's like if a person of your talent, turns it on and he says, you know what? Work at this instead of just being naturally gifted. Let me work at this and let me hone in on this. There's no telling how amazing this dude can go or how high he can.
Yeah, Eli can
look like a top 10 quarterback next year if all his receivers got in line
to maximum potential, from Sterling Shepard to Cruz to Odell. If they perform to maximum potential, that man can pass for 4,000 yards and probably 35 touchdowns easily.
Very easily.
But if you used to tell me that an LSU receiver was going to have 14 targets, 11 catches, and 102 yards, I would have for sure said it was Odell Beckham. But Jarvis Landry did his thing.
Jarvis Landry.
He did his thing. He was that entire offense. Jay Ajayi couldn't do anything.
What did I tell you? 2 episodes ago? I said that when Jay Ajayi is not running well, they lean on Jarvis Landry, and it showed 2 days ago when they played. Jarvis Landry was hailed as one of the best receivers coming out of LSU over Odell. That people, he went to the Dolphins where they were mediocre for so while, and he doesn't do the most spectacular catches. But guess what? He has the most dependable catches that no one talks about. Yeah, he's not a highlight reel like Odell, but I feel like he gets no attention like he should get. Put Jarvis Landry on any other team other than the pedestrian Dolphins, I swear he is probably a top 5 receiver in this league.
I can agree with that. I'm sure he's gonna get his 100 catches. He probably can, with a better quarterback, he probably can squeeze out about 1,500 to 1,600 yards and probably reach double-digit touchdowns. I mean, it just depends on how they use him. But another player that impressed me. We had a couple rushing records get broke this week. Not only Le'Veon Bell setting the Pittsburgh record, but Thomas Rawls. I mean, give him some type of credit. I mean, he's not beast mode at all. But the fact that you can go in there and get 161 rushing yards, that you gotta give some type of credit to the man. I mean, he hasn't been as consistent down the stretch, but if he's even able to have half this production throughout the playoffs, Seattle could be back on track. Possibly.
The thing, I know you watched that game, and the thing about the Seattle Seahawks, it was a terrible game, and that's the thing about it. It was a terrible game.
Every game was, to be honest.
And I think Matt Ryan is really going to have a field day against Seattle because guess what? Seattle defense does not look that great. They were letting Matt.
This week, I think it's going to be home playoffs for everybody.
Because think about this, man. If you watch the game, Detroit's receivers dropped a few balls, to say the least. Same with Ebron. He didn't pick up a lot of crucial third downs that Matthew Stafford needed. But the thing I liked about them is they played hard football. You could tell they were trying. You could tell Matthew Stafford was out there trying to win, and they still kept the game close. It was just spectacular catches by Doug Baldwin. That way he just took that away from Curse, and he was just like, he was supposed to go to Curse. I was like, did he just take that man's ball away from him? And I'm just like, he's on your team. But I just feel like I feel sad for Seattle because I really did like them. A few years ago when they were beating the Broncos, and everyone's like, "Is this going to be a dynasty? Can they run football?" They can't run football because guess what? The offensive line still sucks. The pieces that they lost on defense, their defense is not consistent or as dominant as they once were, and I just think that they are going to get exposed against Matt Ryan. And I think Matt Ryan in his head, he's hearing. I'm not going to say that Matt Ryan is a character that is jealous or, a player that wants to showboat, but I'm pretty sure Matt Ryan is hearing a lot of chatter with the MVP votings are starting to sway the Aaron Rodgers because people are thinking to themselves like, oh man, even though voting went,
voting
already happened. Games.
If he lasts into the playoffs, then Rodgers will have a lot to say about it.
People were talking about Aaron Rodgers way too much, and I'm pretty sure that Matt Ryan is going to come out and ball. If Matt Ryan comes out and ball, I just have to say that he may be my favorite quarterback going into next year. But if he fails, oh man, it's going to be the same old Matt Ryan, and I'm not personally going to give him any credit anymore because I'm going to say, oh yeah, you can win in the regular season, but when it comes to playoff time, you always fold and you fold again.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of players, but I can agree with that. I still give him one more year. I still give him one more year to bounce back because having that first round bye, you can lose so much momentum.
That is true. That is true.
So sometimes you just sit back. You like you get a actual week to smell yourself. To like, oh man, we the shit. We first place. We one of the top 2 seeds in the conference. And sometimes you come out there and get your ass kicked. So you just got to see how they're going to respond, with this pressure. I mean, they've had the bye week before. I believe they went 14-2 one season, the Michael Turner year. So they've had this kind of success, but they end up getting beat by, I believe, the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. So hopefully they can bounce back.
And that was a hot 49 team.
Yeah, that was the Colin Kaepernick 49ers?
No, that was the Alex Smith 49ers.
Alex Smith 49ers? Okay. Alex Smith 49ers.
Wasn't it the Alex Smith 49ers when they beat Atlanta, when they went to Atlanta's house and beat them?
I think that was because Colin Kaepernick started the Super Bowl. So I think that was Colin Kaepernick.
Okay, it was Colin in. Okay.
I think Alex Smith lost to the Giants. He lost to the Giants the year before.
Okay. Well, still, I mean, at the end of the day, if I personally think he's going to ball out, and if the thing that I want to see from Atlanta and going in front, coming from that game is I like how you said Michael Turner and the Atlanta has had the Steven Jacksons, the good running backs, but they haven't had a consistent running back that Matt Ryan.
They had them both on their down because they got Turner as a free agent. They got Steven Jackson at like 36. So
they have Freeman now.
Probably the first time they had like two youthful running backs.
Freeman is really going to make a difference. I'm really looking forward to him.
This is probably the best rushing offense since the DVD days with Duckett, Vick, and Work Done. This is probably the best rushing offense that they have right now when you talk about Freeman and Coleman, because they can both do it all. They can pass block, they can rush the ball, and they can catch. And then you still got Julio Jones, Gabriel, and Hooper to worry about on the outside, along with Mohamed Sanu. So they have the weapons to beat a Seattle team. And I think they probably can pull this one off, man. Like you said, their defense is not the same. But Atlanta has to come out and dominate Seattle. They're going to have to come out and make an example out of them. Show them that they're for real. They got to come out there and put about 35 on the board. They have to. Because squeaking by a Seattle team is not going to give anybody else the confidence. It won't scare off a Dallas team. It won't scare off Green Bay. If you was to squeeze by a Seattle team that's clearly weak at safety and with an inconsistent running game, you have to blow them out.
This is going to be my favorite weekend of football that I've seen in a long time.
After probably the worst weekend of football.
It was just look at just looking at the games going into this week. They're all entertaining. People want to talk all up and down, how, Tom Brady's going to dominate the Texans. Yeah, he may ball on the Texans, but on paper, looking at this team, if the thing I like about the Texans is their defense. Their defense is clicking at the right time. They clicked at the right time. They got hot at the right time. If you can put some pressure on Tom Brady and you can contain those receivers, you give yourself a win chance. The thing that I want the Texans to do going into this game, they need to eat the clock. They need to have like long drives. They need like a good 6 or 7 minute drives where Brock is making third down completions, that they're running this clock down, that Lamar Miller is eating up the clock. Because you're not going to be Tom Brady when you're not going to be going 3 and out, putting the ball, putting your defense, your elite defense can be elite. So look at this. This is the scenario I want to say. You can be like, I can see this game being like the Texans and Patriots game could be like the Giants and the Packers game in the first half. If you can have that good defense, your elite defense playing at an elite level, your offense has to give you something, because that's the thing that let the Giants down, because their offense wasn't doing anything. Their defense looked tired in that second half. Or it didn't also look like Aaron Rodgers kind of figuring it out, but that defense got tired because they were constantly on the field. Eli constantly was, he was forcing the ball. He was making ball-headed decisions down the stretch. But think about that. I can see the Texans game going one way, or I can see it going another way.
Man, when it comes to this Texans game, you got to realize Tom Brady is going to be able to slice them and dice them all the way down the field. And that's the type of game he can do. This is probably one of the few teams that's always at the goal line, it seems. They're always at first and goal, 1 yard line, 2 yard line, LeGarrette Blount punching it in. I don't see the Texans being able to do that. New England also allowed the fewest rushing touchdowns. So your keys to this game.
I don't mean to cut you off. Did you hear there's a stat of the touchdowns that LeGarrette Blount got this year? 11 of his touchdowns went from the 1 yard line. How is the Patriots falling down the 1 yard line so many times? They have to be the unluckiest team ever. I know Tom Brady is probably mad. He's like, that could have been my touchdown.
But honestly, I think they like it that way because there's more ball control. Because now when you're inside the 10-yard line or whatever 1-yard line, and you even run 1 or 2 extra plays, that's 40 seconds per play that you're taking off. You know what I'm saying? Those are valuable minutes that come down to winning time of possession. That's a minute and a half that they're not having the ball. So I'll take it. I'll take first and goal at the 1. Because either he can get you first and goal at the 1 or he going to get you with a 70-yard bomb. So
don't be surprised if Belichick tells his receivers to fall down the 1-yard line just for that very reason that you just pointed out.
Just to get LeGarrette Blount in there for that playoff touchdown. I can see that. But, you know, man, I just don't see this game going well, to be completely honest with you. I mean, the Texans is an organization that's never beat the Patriots away at Foxborough. And I don't see anything changing, especially when Tom Brady's on a mission this year to get back to the Super Bowl. Like, it's just hard to see it happening for them to even compete. I mean, yeah, you can lay it out there like, yeah, Brock beat Brady last year and they beat him with the number 1 defense. This is not the same defense as the Broncos. We don't have the same secondary. We don't have Von Miller and DeMarcus Ward coming off the edge. Yes, we have Jadeveon Clowney and Whitney Merciless, but it'll help to have Watt in there. Because when you go back to that week 3 game, they doubled the shit out of Jadeveon. And they let Watt go 1-on-1 all night. And that's the game that Watt ended up getting hurt and out for the season. So they have pretty much the same game plan. They're going to double Jadeveon. They're going to have Merciless going 1-on-1. And even if he go 1-on-1, he's going to get chipped by a running back who's back there. But Tom Brady's going to let it go so fast they won't touch him. So this game could get out of hand very fast. And to beat the Patriots, you're going to have to put up like 28 points. And that's something that the Texans haven't been able to do all season long. Because you're not going to win this game with threes. You're not going to win it with field goals. You're not going to win it on the special teams battle. They forced us into 2 special teams turnovers the last time. And I can see that same thing happening this time, especially when you got Tyler Irvin fumbling the kick return every time he touched the ball. You can't have those type of mistakes. And that's exactly what you had the last time when we played them on Thursday night. And I may see the same thing happening this Saturday night.
I can honestly, let's be truthful. I was being optimistic. I really can see it being a slaughter. I can see it being a slaughter because the whole thing about it is, even if the defense were to step up, I just can't see the offense being as efficient as it needs to be because with Brock Osweiler, the thing about him is he doesn't make the simple throws. The simple throws, he always misses. It seems like it always hurts us because there was one play where he rolled out to the right and he threw it at the feet of the receiver. And I'm just like, Brock, he was wide open. How'd you miss that? And that's the thing about him. There's no consistency. And that's the thing with the Texans offense that I need to see going into next year. I mean, I thought I was going to see going into this year. And it seems like there's going to be another red flag going into the offseason because I don't see us really lasting against the Patriots. Tom Brady, like you said, is on a mission. And I can see Michael Floyd and Edelman having one of their best games against us because we can't stop those. We can't stop that Julian Edelman of, his little 10 yards, I'm going to catch this and take it out.
Exactly.
And Michael Floyd, he showed last 2 weeks ago why he was held as one of the best receivers on the Cardinals offense 2 years ago is because he's big and he's so hard to take down. And I just feel like he's maybe too much for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like a positive and a negative coming from the Texans playoff victory or just making the playoffs in general. The positive is you was able to keep your coach. The negative is you're going to be picking further down in the draft, probably another 8 spots from not making the playoffs to the position you're going to be at. So that's going to be a big loss because you're talking about 8 potential NFL caliber players or playmakers that you're not going to be able to get in the draft. So it's like I said, it's a positive, negative. Then you may get your ass whooped against New England. So nobody really wants to see a blowout, especially in the playoffs. But I think that's going to be a blowout right there. I can see that game being about 35-10.
What's the score?
35-10. I think it's going. I think they're going to try to embarrass them.
I can't see the Patriots putting up 35 points. Honestly, I can see them putting up. They have a great offense and all, but they just don't blow teams out like they usually. Like they usually used to do.
Turnovers. Brock gonna turn it over. You know he's gonna turn it over. And it's no way Brock is going to play back-to-back playoff games clean. I think we kind of got lucky last game.
So we're going into Vegas odds has us losing by 17 points. So I'm going to take I'm going to try to take the under, and I'm just going to hold out hope that the Texans can do something. I'm going to say that I can see it being as maybe 28 to. Let's go ahead and give the Texans maybe 17.
Okay, 17. All right. They probably can get 2 touchdowns out of there.
I can see Lamar Miller get a touchdown and make Hopkins, showing flashes of his old self and, nuking them, pun intended.
No doubt. Man, what about the Seahawks going to the Falcons, man? What type of game you see coming out of this? What kind of final score you got?
Well, I told you I see Matt Ryan hanging up probably like 45 points on there. And I'm going to tell you this. Why I say 45 points is because I cannot see Seattle's defense covering the weapons on the Falcons. They have too much. Taylor Gabriel, he can get loose up top. Julio Jones can get loose up top. You got some new down the middle. Then you want to shut them all down. Oh, here comes Freeman. Oh, you want to cover Freeman? We got Stephen Cole. We can throw it fullback and just toss the ball to him. And when all fails, man, Ryan can run the ball. I mean, he's not the most athletic, but he can still get you those first downs. And the thing I like about them is I can see their defense matching up with Seattle's offense because guess what? Seattle's offense is not that great. At the end of the day, Russell Wilson can scramble around with it. His receivers are not giving him anything. You got Paul Richardson, who I really do like, and he has been showing flashes of being pretty good going forward. But I just see it being maybe they take away Doug Ball and say, hey, Kurtz, you beat us, or Jimmy Graham, you beat us. And I can't see Thomas Rawls in the game. Yep.
Yeah, you can see it. It's going to come down to the playmakers in this game. I'm talking about Doug Baldwin or Julio Jones going to have a big game for either team to have a chance. But I think Atlanta is going to be a little bit more high-powered as far as the offense. That's why I kind of got them favored, especially at the Georgia Dome. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than everybody thinks, but I do think they still need to go out there and hang some points on Seattle. So I'm going to go about 31-28. Atlanta may kick the game in the field goal late in the game.
I got 45-28. That's what I had, honestly. I thought all the mess about Seattle. I see Russell scoring a rushing touchdown. Maybe Thomas Rawls gets in at the 1 yard line. But when I give him a touchdown, I get Paul Richardson a touchdown.
All right, no doubt. Now, we do got the Steelers traveling to Arrowhead, man. This is probably the one team. Well, I'm going to say probably the Packers too, but the Steelers for sure. As one of the away teams, I think they may have a chance depending on the health of Big Ben. I don't understand why Big Ben was still in the game. He shouldn't even been hurt to begin with. But the Chiefs do have Spencer Ware say he's healthy and Justin Houston say he's healthy. So it looked like they're going to be locked and loaded for this playoff game at Arrowhead. And I know that atmosphere is going to be crazy. We know Ben on the road is he's pretty suspect, man. He do got those playmakers, but I think it's going to be all about Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is going to say it's going to be a Le'Veon Bell show. It's going to be a Le'Veon Bell show. For them to win, he has to have 200 scrimmage yards. Like I don't see no other way. I mean, and I'm not gonna say he's fresh, but it's 4 games where he didn't have to take damage between getting suspended for 3 and sitting out the last one. And we've seen what happens when he gets 40 carries, 250 yards. So he's capable of having a big game. I think he's fresh enough to have this big game, and he probably could have ran that entire fourth quarter if they wanted him to, but the game was already out of reach against Miami. So if it's any team that has a chance to upset, I think it'll be the Steelers, and I'm actually going to pick the Steelers this game. I expect Le'Veon to go off, just like we just said. Final score, I'm going to go 28-24. Big Ben and the Steelers take this one and advance to the AFC Championship.
Well, I was looking at they said that Big Ben had an MRI earlier today, and they said there was nothing serious revealed. And he said that he's going to be fine. The thing about the Kansas City Chiefs is, like I said before, this season, if you have looked at them play, they gave up a lot of rushing yards. And I feel like Le'Veon Bell, like you said earlier, they're going to lean on Le'Veon Bell. And I think he can easily he may have 200 yards rushing, because the thing I like about Le'Veon Bell is the team that I did not notice about him. The way he can stop on a dime and accelerate is incredible. There was this one play that he did against the his play that he did. His patience is beautiful, but he stopped and he juked and he took off and he was gone. And I said, you know what? Le'Veon Bell, like I said it all season. I said David Johnson is the best running back in the league. I have to give it up. Le'Veon Bell may be the best running back. I said, yes,
it's the patience, man.
Le'Veon Bell is just a different running back that we have never seen before. And I feel like he's going to show out and show the world why he's the best. And I feel like Big Ben is going to do enough. The thing about worry about Big Ben is he had 2 turnovers against Miami.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He didn't have 2 turnovers. The Chiefs, because guess what? Yeah, we may say Alex Smith is not the greatest quarterback, but I feel like Alex Smith can still ball if you need the ball. They kind of been putting the ball as far as Alex Smith is going to be. Tyreek Hill is going to have the game. I can see, but it's all going to come down to what quarterback is going to play the better game, and then also is Spencer Ware healthy enough for Kansas City to rely on?
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's that healthy. Because he may say he's 100%, but when I saw him play, he didn't look like he was healthy. No. Yeah, you may have a week of resting, but I can't see. I think you needed more time than that. But we'll see.
Definitely, man. You know, just to go back to Le'Veon Bell, probably the one thing.
My score. 31. Steelers get 31. I say Kansas City Chiefs get 21.
Okay. You know, for Le'Veon Bell, you know, a lot of people want to compare him to Marcus Allen, but I want to bring out a name that's a little bit more recent. You know, he didn't have the greatest speed, but he had that vision. And when he had that vision and can accelerate through that hole, Arian Foster. This is probably Arian Foster 2.0 when you look at Le'Veon Bell, because Arian Foster had some explosive games to where he'd hit the hole, show the patience, then bam, he's off for like a 27 or 30-yard run. Like I said, he didn't have the speed like Le'Veon Bell has. But it's that patience and just being able to observe and wait for your lineman to get to their blocks and then that takeoff. You know, so I think he's Arian Foster 2.0 every time I see him run.
He's also 3.0 because Foster had a fullback that was really blocking for him a lot of them runs. And the thing about Le'Veon is it's basically just him back there. Yeah, I see what you're talking about, the patience. I do get in that because Arian Foster did have patience, but that fullback made Arian Foster, you know, look as great as, you know, he was. But Le'Veon Bell is just, I mean, if anybody would just watch it, I honestly, in a dream scenario, I wish I could see the Steelers go against the Dallas Cowboys because I really want to see that. I want to see Le'Veon Bell versus Zeke Elliott.
Part 2. Because the last time they played,
it would be amazing.
Yeah, Zeke had that game-winning rushing touchdown, so yeah.
Oh, that was a good game. Man, that game was good. That big man fakes twice.
That probably was the game of the year. Definitely the game of the year. But, you know, speaking of that same team.
About the Cowboys.
Yeah.
What you think?
Speaking of that same team, man, I think this Jordy Nelson injury is going to hurt him. Then you also got Ty Montgomery hurt, and we already know that everybody feels a little different ways about him. But, hey, Christine Michael had a few nice rushes, but I don't think he'll be able to continue that same pace of rushing against the Cowboys. But I think it's going to come down to ball control. Aaron Rodgers is on a historic pace right now. I believe 3 straight games, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. You can continue to say he won't keep it up, but it's a historic pace. Nobody's ever done this before. So, and he's also coming in winning 7 straight games. So it's possible for him to have that same type of game. I can see maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns, but on the other side of the ball, when you talk about Ezekiel Elliott, that Dallas offensive line, Dak Prescott, then you also got Dez Bryant that it seems like nobody's talking about. Maybe because he's not having that 1,000-yard, 20-touchdown season as we've seen before. But he hasn't had a lot of targets on his body this year, so he's in line for a big game. I think Dez Bryant is going to be able to take over this game and have a Randall Cobb-type game. Yes, Ezekiel Elliott's going to get the yards, but I see Dez Bryant with maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns at the end of the day.
I'm nervous of this game. I'm nervous of this game because, you know, you putting Aaron Rodgers in a perfect condition environment where he has no wind chill to worry about, no bad field. The only thing he has to worry about is that sun that's going to be maybe glaring down on his face. But other than that, the thing about them, like you said, is Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson can't play. Like they say he may not play. It's really going to hurt them. If people say, well, look what Aaron Rodgers just did to the Giants defense. The Giants defense is tired out there. Like Aaron Rodgers had a lot of time in the pocket, to throw around, he did the scrambles and all that. I can see the way Dallas plays at home on defense is a step, I want to say above the rest. And they pass rush. I feel like Marinelli doesn't get enough credit. He can create a nice pass rush. And if they can just get to Aaron Rodgers and throw him off his good spot, they can make him mess up because guess what? He don't have a security blanket in Jordy Nelson he likes to go to. And that's going to mess a whole bunch of things up. The thing I'm looking up for Dallas is if they can get up quickly on Aaron Rodgers to them, they have a chance to beat him. But if they got to come back, if Aaron Rodgers is gets the ball, touchdown, Dallas gets the ball, let's say, maybe they go and kick a field goal and Aaron Rodgers scores again and Dallas gets the ball. That's when I'm getting scared, where they have to play the comeback ball because I can't see them still being able to successfully run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott doing comeback ball. So Dallas has to come out firing hot. They have to be on their P's and Q's, no mistakes, and then they have a chance to get it. But if they get behind, they're for a long night.
But that's probably the scariest part because Rodgers does not make mistakes. He's not turning the ball over. He's a magician. He's out there throwing lasers, Hail Marys. 3 out of 5 on Hail Marys, 60%.
I put his food before.
You pretty much have to at this point. He's playing out his mind, and you can't let him continue to be hot. But the thing is, like you said, he's in a dome. It's prime time, and we've seen Aaron Rodgers step up in these type of games.
Yeah, boy. It's like the Cowboy hating me wants the Cowboys get slaughtered. But the new me that likes his Cowboy offense, I like Dak and I like Elliott. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them do well.
I want to see some rookies come in and do something that's never been done, regardless if it's the Cowboys or not. Exactly. I want to see some history made this year. This is what we watch football for. We watch football to be like, oh man, remember that time those 2 rookies came in and won the Super Bowl? I want to see success like that. Like I said, I like Ezekiel Elliott from his Ohio State days. He's probably one of the greatest runners I've seen in college, and I'm glad to see that translate to the NFL. So I want them to have success, but Rodgers is on fire right now.
I'm going to tell you about this game. It's going to remind me of the Texans versus the Patriots game. It can either go one way or go the other way. And then go either way real quick. But I'm going to be optimist. I'm going to be a little bit positive. I'm going to say that you got to give the Cowboys this. I'm going to say the Cowboys win. I'm going to get it like 31-28.
I'm gonna back go with that same score. 31-28. Dan Bailey game-winning field goal.
There you go. Dan Bailey holding it down, and the Cowboys run out there and get off Facebook for like a whole week because Cowboy fans won't shut up. Probably.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know what? If these Cowboys do actually come down here and play this Super Bowl, I'm not talking to nobody that entire week.
What we need to do is we need to start a petition, and we block 45. And we stop them from coming to Houston. We just block all our 45. It's in Houston instead of roadblocks. They can't go nowhere. They can't come.
Make them take the JJ Highway 99 go back home.
They got to fly. I'm blocking planes too.
No doubt, man. I think it's going to be an exciting weekend. I am looking forward to this NFL playoffs, the divisional round. Hopefully everything go like we expect with the Patriots taking it. Then you got maybe the Steelers taking it. And then the Cowboys and the Falcons setting up a great NFC and AFC championship weekend. But we will be back later on this week with our NBA rankings, the debut for our NBA rankings. And we're also going to talk a little bit of fantasy football for the first time. But as for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.